Real quick, gotta give a huge shout out to Black Conservative 24 for posting this video. Former Democrat Biden donor explains why he is now supporting Donald Trump. We've been seeing this trend for the last few years of people jumping ship from the Democrat plantation. Let's go ahead and hear as to why.
Members of California's historically liberal technology community turning out to support the former president in a massive fundraiser last week. Jacob Hellberg was there. He serves as the senior policy advisor at Palantir and Stanford University Center on Geopolitics and Technology. Jacob, great to have you. Thank you so much for being here. You were once a prominent Democrat donor. You gave to Biden in his last presidential campaign, but you were there this week supporting President Trump. What happened?
So part of what we've seen over the last 4 years is I came from a one-party state, and like a lot of people in California and in Silicon Valley, I saw the Democratic Party get hijacked by the squad and a woke theology. President Biden campaigned as a moderate and ultimately has governed as a radical progressive. He has spent all of his time catering to his base, and ultimately he's now completely out of step with where the rest of the country is. Silicon Valley is in the business of building the future, and a lot of the philosophy that's been coming out of Washington has been about strangulating innovation instead of encouraging and supporting it.
Give us your sense of what specific policies are most problematic and where you want to see change in a new leadership in America.
Well, there are policies related to people's day-to-day work. The 44% capital gains would have an absolutely devastating impact on the venture capital business. The executive order on AI has caused a great deal of controversy because it has a mandatory reporting requirement that a lot of people view as a stepping stone to licensing. The crusade against crypto, a lot of people are very frustrated about that too. But there are also more personal issues like October 7th. That has turned so many different voters into single issue voters who were lifelong Democrats and who now see that the Democratic Party today is completely different than it was yesterday, and it's time to make a change.
Jacob, you're a member of the U.S.-China Economic and Security Review Commission. What's your assessment of the China threat? And do you believe that business in America is starting to recognize the national security threat more so than the ability to sell to 1.4 billion people in China?
So here's what's important for every American to understand. We are in the grips of a technological arms race with China. AI is poised to, for the first time in a generation, give us a chance to reindustrialize in this country because it can radically reshape the efficiencies of our supply chains. But China is racing to weaponize this technology and dominate this market. We're now seeing companies in the U.S. and in China race to develop general-purpose humanoid robots. We cannot allow them to flood this market with subsidies and unfair competition. Ultimately, there's one candidate in this race who has proposed putting in place tariffs and protections against unfair trade, and that's President Trump. And it's so important that we recognize that because this is a make or break issue for the future of our country.
All right, Jacob Hellberg joining us.
Hey, this is a blessing, but I think it's really sad, man.
The Black Conservative went on to talk about, he said it's sad. He was just pretty much saying how it took so long for people to wake up in light of in sight of what's happening with Biden being the president of the United States. He's saying, look, dog, it don't take a rocket scientist to realize that this was a messed up decision from the very beginning. But I always tell y'all, Biden being in office is the gift and a curse. Sure, it sucks on our pockets right now. Sure, it does, but strengthens our resilience. And also, it has woke so many of us up. I can't tell you how grateful I am for that and that alone. Without Biden being in office, I would probably still be a Democrat. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I would probably still be a Democrat. And if it wasn't for that woman in that Uber also who helped your boy. But yeah, man, shout out to shout out to that man right there. Very intelligent, very much so informed, and it's fantastic to hear somebody speak facts about Donald Trump. We need more people to come together for their common sense to come together, for sure. We need more people to actually start waking up to the world around them. President Trump himself said that they will have no chance but to visit him because their policies are so toxic. And by them, he mean us. We will have no chance but to, swing his way because the policies that we seeing, dog. But hey, don't just take my word for it. MSNBS sat down with voters in Michigan to discuss the 2024 election, and it's bad for Biden. All 4 former Biden voters, are not voting for him this year. 3/4 would be okay with Trump as a rebuke of Biden. Somebody even said, quote, "I'm willing to punish Biden."
Is there a pathway forward for you with Biden?
Oh, absolutely not. You cannot keep killing people with our money and just keep thinking that, oh, we are stupid enough to elect you again, because we'll fall in line. We'll forget. This is an insult to me as a voter.
For you, Biden has a pathway forward.
Biden has a pathway forward. It's not.
And what does that look like?
That is him calling for a permanent and immediate ceasefire. The straightforward, simple answer for the Biden administration is push for a ceasefire, stop aiding Israel in their war crimes, and I guarantee you there are enough people who would be willing to deal with it and vote for the man. It is, in so many words, insane to me to have the Democratic Party and the Biden administration sit here and essentially say, if Trump happens, it's your fault.
If you don't want a Trump presidency, then are you not worried about what he could do domestically to this country?
I am, it's like a vaccine. I'm willing to take short-term pain for a long-term gain. I'm willing to let go of Joe Biden and oppose Joe Biden, make him a one-term president, punish Joe Biden by making him a one-term president and pairing his loss with the genocide in Gaza.
Why is having a Trump presidency more important than those people's lives?
Yeah.
Why is our democracy more important than thousands of men, women, and children being killed?
Obviously, you have so many people fired up over the war, but that's not the conversation that we're going to have here. I will say this. These aren't Republican voters. Keep that in mind. These aren't Republican voters, and Biden is literally siphoning his own base because of his terrible policies. Seriously, for once, karma is actually being delivered, and I'm here to see it. I'm happy to see it. The one thing I would have loved to hear them say was, there were no wars when Trump was in office. I know they weren't going to bring themselves to accept that, though. They don't want to say that part, but Biden is getting hate from all sides of the political spectrum, and it is so great to see. From his side, from the other side, from the middle side, from the side that nobody even knows is there. It's bad for Biden when you got your own side rallying against you.
I didn't vote in 2020.
Really?
I didn't vote either.
What was that wake-up moment for you?
My moment was dreams. God began to show me dreams about Donald Trump. Saw him as a tall, like a giant type. He came into my office and he says, I am here to fight for you. Now, I was embarrassed. I was like, oh my gosh, I don't want my co-workers seeing Trump in my office. I said, Donald Trump, you nothing like what the media says about you. And I woke up out of that dream and I was like, the devil is a liar. I plead the blood of Jesus. I looked at one rally and I was like, hold up. Everything that he's saying in this rally is what my book talks to me about. He's against abortions. He is for marriage. He always says that I am for conservative marriage, the way how God created it. He is for the wall. I lock my car every night. I lock my door every night. So I don't understand why we wouldn't want walls to secure the country. And so that was my moment through dreams. God began to give me dreams for him, so I began to pray for him.
Did you vote for President Trump in 2020?
I didn't vote in 2020.
Really?
I didn't vote either.
My wake up moment was in that Uber ride. You can catch my story with the video that's gonna pop up right here. But before you go, I have to know in the comments right now, what was your wake up moment as it pertains to, politics in general, as it pertains to leaving the Democratic Party. If you was a Democrat or if you wasn't a Trump supporter, what led you to become one or not? Let me know in the comments right now, y'all. Let's connect. Y'all be safe. Go check on somebody today. You can quite literally be saving a life. Team Think.